I'm excited.
Welcome to Broom Talk, the podcast where witches, healers, and magic makers gather to share their journeys, their magic, and their truths. I'm your host, Priestess Mellisa of Enchanted Dragonfly, inviting you to take a seat at the Broom Circle because the real magic is in the stories we tell. So let's stir the cauldron and speak the spell. So I have another magical being with me today. So tell us your name and your business name.
Hi, I'm Justine Kenahan. I'm a photographer. I go under the name Piquant Photo.
Nice.
And yes, thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you for joining. Nice. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So I'm a photographer by trade, by hobby. I've been in the business for 10 plus years. I've been photographing since I was a teenager, and then I started freelancing when I was in my early 20s. I also maintain a full-time job as well. I started in advertising and marketing, and now I'm in ad tech. So I've been kind of playing two roles, the business woman and then the artist as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a big role to fill for sure.
Yeah. I've always been interested in art. You know, as a kid, I was very artsy, drawing a lot, coloring, doing lots of arts and crafts. I got my first camera, actually, I think it was a raffle when I was in like kindergarten or first grade. So it was a little plastic 35 millimeter. And then when I was a teenager, I got a little point and shoot back in the early 2000s when those were really popular, taking pictures of flowers and landscapes and everything. And then as I was in high school, I got my first DSLR. And have been photographing ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now you're doing a project that is similar to what I do with the podcast by bringing awareness. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. Oh my goodness. So this is, it's a passion project called In Her Magic that I've been working on for the past, say, year and a half, 2 years. Basically, it's exploring the intersection between women who identify as witches and women in business, so women who own metaphysical shops. And what I'm doing is a documentary photo project with that, and then pairing it with a recorded interview. So it's capturing the words of these women and then the insides of their shops and their portraiture, and really just kind of tying the two, the story and the photo story together and making that into one cohesive storytelling experience.
Nice. I think that's awesome. That it's another way for our voices to be heard, for us to be seen and listened to. Yes, that's awesome. I love it. So where are you located?
I currently reside in Rhode Island. This project is centered around New England. So I was really surprised to learn how many shops were actually very much near me in proximity. Yeah. So I've worked with maybe 7 or 8 businesses so far, and it's really just starting to branch out outside of Rhode Island. For such a small state, it's pretty incredible how saturated it is with witches.
Love it.
So that's always a fun thing to explore. So I'm in Rhode Island, and this project is just going to keep rippling out into the New England area, and then someday maybe it'll be a national thing.
Yeah. I love it that we're everywhere. It may not be realized how often how everywhere we are, but
that's
awesome.
Yeah, my husband had actually said, because I've been bouncing a lot of these ideas off of him too, he said maybe one day you'll be the Guy Fieri of witchcraft shops, and I had to laugh at that.
That'd be awesome.
Just because it's so fun to visit and just learn, visit all these shops and then learn the stories about the shops, and then meet the individuals like yourself to see how they got started. So I really love learning about people's origins and how they just came to be with these special places.
Yeah.
So maybe someday it'll be a national thing.
That's awesome. That'd be great. And then it's if I'll post it in the description, but it's awesome what she's doing. And the articles are great, and the women are great, and the pictures and everything is.
Thank you.
It looks so vibrant, and it's it's like where you can relate to all of it, but at the same time, everybody's different, has their own personality or their own touch on their places.
That's
awesome.
There's a lot of common threads between the different stories that I've heard from people, which is really fantastic because you can just see that there's like a need, right? Everyone's finding that there's a need, but everyone's finding it in a different way. And I think that's really important because it's just, it's like a universal calling to open a shop like this, and then to, you know, kind of come to it and serve the community that way. But then also like stocking your shop with, you know, certain types of materials from makers and creators, either locally or nationally, that you trust. I just think it's really cool how like there's a lot of similarity there, but so many people just have different avenues of arriving to the same place. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. And how did you start doing what you're doing
with the project? So I think I shared this with you the last time we chatted, but when I was young, I was very much into witchcraft. When I was a kid, I was, you know, really into like, you know, cooking up spells and like or potions in mud, and I have some incriminating other stories about using my Bible as a spell book. Oh my God. Sorry, Mom. But I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I just thought it was cool. And I have some Wiccans and witches on my stepmom's side of the family, and I was always really interested in that. And when I was younger, there was a metaphysical shop at the local mall near me. So I went to that shop and I just thought it was really interesting. So I've always held on to that memory. I've always wondered how, like, why would someone open a shop like this? How does somebody do that? And I always thought it was very just interesting to talk to those people. So I've always held on to that memory. And then fast forward like 30 something years, right? I arrived at this idea. It was just percolating in my head for a while, and I decided that I was going to pursue it. So I approached the most local shop to me, which was at that point in Warwick, Rhode Island. And I asked them if they would be interested, and I didn't even have a format for this, right? I didn't have any idea of how this would be set up, but I knew I wanted pictures and an interview, and I didn't know really how that was going to take shape. So after spending some time in that shop, I pitched it, and I said, I don't really know where this is going to go, but would you be interested? And those folks said yes. And then that same day, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. So it was just a funny coincidence where it was, you know, I had the courage to kind of like release this idea out into the world. And that same day, the universe decided that it was my time to create physically. So my timeline for that got put on hold a little bit. But in the meantime, between balancing my full-time job and having photography clients and growing a human inside of me, I decided like, maybe, you know, I'll put this on hold for now. And then after I had my daughter, I decided I was going to take a little break from taking on clients, photo clients. I still had my full-time job, but then this would be my passion project. So I was trying to just use the path of least resistance and reaching out to people via Instagram. And that's how we kind of converged, just coincidentally. But yeah, so I have gained some momentum over Instagram. I decided that the format would be photos and then an interview, and then creating its own Instagram for that to live in, and pairing the two media. Now I have a new website that I'm about to launch, which I'm very excited about. And eventually this will be pitched to magazines and everything. That's awesome. So I just have decided to go headfirst into this passion project and just see where it takes me.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. And what type of practitioner are you?
I'm a blend, I guess, a nice blend of solo practitioner. And I'm not in an official coven, but I have my friends who are my coven. I've practiced some spell work with a few of my friends who are witches as well. And really, like, I would say I'm more of an intuitive type of witch, where I really just, I can feel things. I feel the presence of spirits. I can feel where I'm supposed to go. Just like this project, I'm just letting, I call it like I'm like divinely guided in this, or, you know, something like that. Intuitively guided with this project. I kind of classify myself as an art witch, which I sort of, I don't know if I branded that myself or whatever, but the way that I practice is a mix between, you know, traditional practices using herbs and crystals and tarot, but I also create using my art. So that is where the most magic and alchemy comes out, when I'm physically creating. So when I'm hanging out with my friends, whether they're witchy or not, you know, I'm creating with them. I'm either like photographing them, or they're photographing me, or we're doing some sort of like art type project. And that's really what I consider my practice. The art witch is sort of just a blanket term that I put over it. But, you know, if you look at my house, the inside of my house, it's like plants and rocks. And yesterday I went on a walk on the beach, and I had my pocket full of rocks, and it was, you know, so you can say like there's a lot of earth and elements mixed in there, but really like the depth of my craft comes from what I can produce. That's just how I transmute energies into something tangible.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it. What's your spiritual origin story or an awakening moment?
Ooh, I feel like I talked about the origin story already, just through my childhood. The awakening moment. I was thinking about this last night, and I couldn't remember if like it sort of took effect like in my adulthood after the 2016 election, or if it was after that. But I think it was really like understanding who I was as a person, and realizing that I can figure this out with the help of the universe, right? Some people turn to religion, some people turn to substances, some people turn to work. You know, for me, it was embracing what made me feel comfortable as a child, what made me feel accepted as a child, just like really embracing the elements and the earth, and what I'm feeling, you know, because like when I was a kid, I lived in an older house, and pretty sure it was haunted, but not by like bad spirits. I think it was just the two older folks that passed away in the house, but I could always feel it, and I never knew what that feeling was. And then, you know, I've lived in all sorts of, I moved around a bunch locally, but just a bunch. And I've lived in a bunch of houses. Most of them were haunted. Now that I realize that, like what I was feeling, I'm like, yeah, that they were all haunted. That's why. And yeah, just kind of like understanding that I don't have to brush away that feeling. And I think, I want to say it was like 2016, like just feeling all that anger and like angst about the way the world was shifting, and how I could control it in some way. And the way I was controlling it was just to welcome in the things that I was pushing out for a while. So I want to say that was it. And I just kind of got closer to like tarot. I think it was during the COVID lockdown, I bought my first tarot deck. And I took forever to pick one. I found it on Etsy, and I was able to order it. And like, I think it came during the COVID lockdown. And at that time I was like kind of focusing on shadow work and understanding myself and why I was feeling the way I was. And so I want to say that was probably an aha moment for me, where I'm like, okay, there's all this angst bubbling up. I need an outlet for it other than my artwork. Let me dabble in this spirituality that I had been interested in as a kid, has always followed me. and see where it takes me. So now I'm here. I'm fully embraced it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a calling, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially once you find the one that you click with, you know, and then you get it and then you work with it, whether it's the tarot deck or a crystal or another book or maybe a new camera or something. Right?
Yeah.
What's your daily spiritual or magical practice like?
Oh boy. I have so many crystals in my house, where I just hold them, you know, like I think maybe that is the most daily use of tools. I have one in my bra right now.
Awesome.
I admitted it.
You're probably like, what? Definitely not the only one.
I'm not the only one. Yeah, I have a lot of crystals. I have an altar that last week I actually just kind of cleaned it up because it usually every New Year's Eve or New Year's Day I'll refresh it. I didn't do that this past year, and I could definitely feel it where there was like a stagnation. So I have a lot of crystals. I'll hold them depending on what they're best used for. If I'm feeling like overwhelmed, you know, I'll go for the black crystals, and if I'm feeling like I need some creativity or some motivation, I'll go for like the red crystals. And amethyst is my birthstone, but it is you know, something that I just connect with all the time. So opening that third eye and I receive a lot of downloads in my dreams. So I sleep next to crystals. I've introduced my toddler to crystals, so now she can hand you a purple one and say, it's amethyst.
That's so
it's
cute.
insane to hear her say that. So I'd say that's my most daily practice. But around the Sabbats, the big Sabbats, like for Samhain and for Yule, you know, Stara, I'll, you know, kind of just make this little altar for that particular Sabbat, and that's just, you know, how I celebrate at that time. Yeah,
that's awesome. Love it. Who or what inspires your path the most?
Who or what inspires my path the most? At this time, I would say meeting individuals like yourself to see how other people have taken their calling to spirituality, or however you want to call it, witchcraft, spirituality, intuition, the occult, whatever, right? And following that. Another reason why I started this project is because I have always been interested in how people balance spirituality and business. How do you balance making money in capitalism and remaining true to your own craft and not conflating the two, or conflating the two and figuring it out in a healthy way. And I feel like I'm a very driven, ambitious person. So I always want to learn how people are like defining success, whether it's business ownership or, you know, the impact they're making on the community, how they make people feel, like whatever that's defined as to those people, and how they just make the world a better place. And that's kind of how I treat my life too, right? Because I maintain a tech job, and I'm very like focused on succeeding in my work, but also doing my art job too. And I've always, in my career, I've always had to balance like the drive to create versus the drive to control. And that sounds odd, but as my current job, I'm a project manager, so it's kind of like that funny thing where like my brain is split in two. And then to meet people like yourself and the other women that I've met with this project, it's always so inspiring to see how other people are doing that as well. So I would say in the context of like my life right now, the people who inspire me the most are those folks. But then, you know, I personally, my family, my husband, my child, my parents, just my network is so strong and supportive. I'm always really inspired by how fortunate I am and we are to have that, you know, have that village and community to keep us going.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to say that and not feel guilty in a way, because there's so many people who don't have that situation, and I'm just really fortunate to have what I have.
Nice.
It makes my heart just like ache with gratitude.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
absolutely. And it's so important. It's like who you surround yourself with, like you say, your family and your peers.
Yes.
And if they're supportive of you, that's so important. And instead of having them, putting the little naysaying in your ear, instead they're supporting you and encouraging you. So that's super important.
I'm really, really fortunate. I'm very blessed. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What was your biggest challenge you faced on your journey, and how did you overcome it?
Oh boy. So early in my career, I was trying to find my footing. Like I said, I've always been an artist, but I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not, like I went to school, I graduated from St. Anselm College with a BA in communications, and I pursued marketing and advertising from there. And I've always been an artsy type of person, like I said, but I wasn't trained. I didn't have an art degree per se, right? I have a fine arts minor, whatever. And early in my career, I kind of received some pushback from like former bosses and, comments after a couple drinks at a Christmas party where it's like, oh, you're an artist. Well, that's not good for the company because you're a project manager. You shouldn't be an artist and a project manager at the same time. And I never thought that never sat right with me. I think I was like 24 when I got that piece of feedback. So I always felt like I had something to prove with like, I can do both,
Yeah.
And I've pursued different jobs that kind of allowed me to have the best of both worlds. But it's also time consuming. So like you're a weekend warrior, you work full time during the week, and then you're a weekend warrior with your photo projects and gigs and weddings and whatnot. And you have no time. You don't have a weekend. So really finding a balance between, art and career stuff, and like how can you blend both? There's plenty of ways to do both, and I feel like I'm doing it now, but really at this point I'm just taking ownership of my own time, of my own energy. How I overcame it was have a baby. that'll like a screeching halt to everything in your life. It's not that it wasn't planned, of course it was in my situation, it was planned, but it just kind of taught me like to slow down a bit. And I don't have anything to prove to anyone except for myself. If someone wants to talk about how my brain is split between two different things, it's not your problem. I'm still performing well in my job, and I'm still pursuing my creative endeavors, and I have my family to back me up and balance me and chill me out and sometimes rile me up as well. And, so like I said, when I received that piece of feedback, I just felt kind of like, oh, like that's not nice to say. No. So I'm going to do the opposite of what you're saying and do it harder.
It's almost like that person was either jealous of what you were doing or trying to discourage you so that you would be more available for them for that job.
Yes. And I think that's what it was. I think it was like put your heart and soul into our agency rather than your specific wants and needs, and I was young. I mean, I didn't know what I was really doing at that point. It was like my first job in Boston. So it was not, I was like, yes, whatever you say.
Corporate,
boss, And then I realized how icky that felt. And I was like, well, I can make this my own. I don't need to follow someone's instructions on how to succeed in this industry. I can do it my own way and have it still be fulfilling.
And I read a quote once, and it said obviously always take care of yourself first, because your your job will be posted before your obituary. Isn't that something? Like, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's
I don't like that.
No, and you think about it, it's true.
Yeah.
Like, they would post that, and it's sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you just, with a lot of companies, most people treat you as a number, and it's way more than that.
Yeah.
Way more than that.
And I'm really fortunate I do want to say this. I'm very fortunate to have the job I have now. I'm really into this job. I respect the company a lot. So like I've overcome that early career speed bump by knowing what I want and making it work in my life. So yeah,
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did what you did.
Thanks.
Absolutely. What tools, methods, or spirits guide your work?
Ooh. So I have a really great spirit team. My grandmother, whose ring I'm wearing, relatives who have passed before. Like I mentioned, I receive a lot of information in my dreams. So I've had a lot of visitation dreams, specifically when I was pregnant, but also like just in life, where I've received encouraging messages, or just an appearance is enough to make me feel like I'm being supported. So my family and my close, any close friends that I've had passed in my lifetime, but also I work with Hecate. She's my girl.
Nice.
She has shown me through some very dark times. So when I do any sort of like work, I typically devote to her. If you want to call it pray, I devote my prayers to her. I was brought up Catholic. I went to a Catholic school. I went to an all-girls Catholic private school, pre-K to 12th grade, and then I went to a Catholic college, so I do have a very Catholic background. We did get my daughter baptized as well in a very nice Episcopalian church near me. So I have this kind of like funny blend. I know a lot of people have a lot of trauma when it comes to the Catholic Church. I had to undo a lot of the the inherent guilt that is bestowed upon anyone who is raised Catholic, but I feel like there is a way to blend Catholicism and witchcraft in a respectful way. So for me, at least, I don't denounce the church. I denounce a lot of what they've done in history and in current times. But I think there is a comfortable way to honor the good parts of that with the spirituality of witchcraft as well. So when I talk about my spirit guides, my grandmother was very Catholic. So I respect that about her, and I respect the fact that she's always with me, and guiding me. And, it's just it's a lot about balance and respect and honoring your roots. So, so, and I'm also, with Hecate, it was more of like, she found me. I cannot remember how I discovered her. I think maybe it was in like a book I read when I was younger or something like that. And I've tried to connect with other deities, and I can't find one that fits me.
Yeah.
And like in college, I took humanities and a lot of lit courses, and we learned a lot about like Greek and Roman mythology. And so I've always been interested in those types of gods and goddesses, but Hecate, I just feel like she is the lady that always guides me, other than grandma.
Yeah. And it is true. I mean, it's like there's so much of the unseen that's there that you can connect with.
Yeah.
And it's powerful, right? How do you stay energetically protected and grounded?
Cover myself with black crystals all the time. Nice. So I kind of discovered what the word empath meant a few years ago, and I was like, oh wow, that's me.
Yeah.
It unlocked something in me when I understood what that meant. So I actually listened to a lot of podcasts around HSPs, highly sensitive persons, people, whatever, and empaths, and how to create boundaries. And I really just lacked a lot of boundaries in my life early on. As a, in my youth, I just would pour myself into people. And even now I'm like that. I have to, when I talk to my mom every day, and she's always like, can't save the world. I'm like, but I want to try.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but you have to protect yourself first. You have to take care of yourself first. So not letting other people's negativity or other people's problems weigh me down. I really had to formulate like boundaries, like envisioning the white light bubble around me. And I still do that to this day. Holding crystals, or if I'm driving, I usually have like tourmaline in my hand or something, like steering wheel tourmaline, just like but yeah, it's like forming those boundaries, understanding like what highly sensitive people go through on a day-to-day basis. Maybe that's why I had a hard time early in my career working in an office, because I was just absorbing everyone's stress around me. So now I am aware of that, and I have to really just protect myself, like at least like gear myself up, like even being out in public or at a grocery store or any sort of like large gathering. I really have to gear myself up for this like bombardment of energies. I used to do this, not as much now because I don't have a lot of time anymore with a toddler. But I would take like a bath a lot at night, just to kind of like wash all of that off of me. If I'm out somewhere very heavy, if it's like a funeral, or if I know I'm walking into something that's going to be emotionally taxing, I know that I have to take like care of myself afterwards, to make sure that I stay protected and not weighed down by everything else that I'm absorbing from everyone. Black crystals help, and recently I had to protect my property with salt because of reasons. But yeah, I've had to do some protection spells. And like if I'm traveling, for example, too, I went to Europe earlier this year, and I was so anxious to like just like leave, but also to travel with like, everything going on with the airports these days and everything. So I put together this little pouch, and I have this protection spells book that I consulted, and I literally like did like 3 different spells just to like protect my family, protect myself, and make sure everything was good, everything. And that's another like control thing that I'm dealing with, like making sure that everything is fine and good while I'm out. But I just feel like even going that far is like I'm putting good energy into the world, so while it's control, it's not necessarily bad control. It's like a good vibe that I'm sending out,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Super important. What's one common misconception about your craft or your work?
That I'm worshiping the devil. Come on. I mean, like we've talked about this, like witchcraft. Just if someone is ignorant to what it is, they're like, this is the bad stuff. Stay away from the bad. This is not the bad stuff. No. And even the bad stuff is misunderstood. Like if it depends on the intention, right? Yeah. So, I have lots of plants and crystals and rocks and seashells and just stuff around my house. And if you know me, you know that I'm not sending out like bad vibes into the world, So I always just try to like gently correct people if they say anything like, oh, I'm a witch. And they're like, oh, really? You're going to turn me into a fly or a rat or something? I'm like, well, it depends on my mood, Yeah.
Like, seriously, you had that power, wouldn't you like conjure money instead or something like that?
Well, yeah. Money and power. It's really just like kind of like correcting that. And also just dropping the line of like, I was raised Catholic, and believe it or not, like I kind of like still honor that in certain ways. I think there's so many misconceptions throughout history and just folklore and what people have been told that they just they villainize it because they don't understand it. So when someone says something to me like, "Oh, you're doing scary stuff because you have a cauldron, like I have the little cast iron cauldron," or I went to New Orleans and went on a little bayou tour, and I got like this like gator hand that looks very scary. It really does. But I'm like, no, just honoring the land, and like the animals that, I just thought that was really cool. But it does look scary. So like if people have misconceptions based on what they've been told and taught, and if someone says something to me, I'll just gently correct it and move on.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's not much you can do. Otherwise, you can talk to your blue in the face, and not everybody's gonna. Can you share a powerful or memorable client transformation?
Sure. Client transformation, like part of my project, or
whichever speaks to you most.
Sure. Let me see. Yeah, actually, so in my photography experience, I have always been part of the camp of saying, like, I'm here to bring out the best in you, right? I used to do headshots and theater. I forgot to mention that. I started shooting theater when I was in my early 20s, and just kind of like that's sort of like filled my creative cup in a way. And I think there's still a lot of resonance in my current work for that. But I would always say, I'm here to bring out the best in you. I would do boudoir. I would do a lot of like fine art nudes, and it's really like empowerment, right? So taking someone who is either camera shy or never been in front of the camera or doesn't like being in front of the camera, has never worn lingerie before, and just like really like making them look good, whether it was for like something for them or for their partner for an anniversary gift or whatever. My philosophy is like, this is about you. This is not about me. This is about you. Like taking the best of you and bringing it into an art form. And I've had a lot of client testimonials saying that, like, "Oh, you made me feel so comfortable. Like, thank you so much. I've never seen myself look like that before." And in this project, I remember it was actually the first client that I shot for this project, but we ended up doing 2 shoots because of the way that, like, it was the first business that I pitched, right? And I didn't really have a format for that. We actually did 2 shoots because I was like, now I know what I want to do, so let's do that. And I remember the woman saying, "I feel like you've really captured the essence of me. And I've never felt that way before." And it like, it just made my heart like flutter, because to hear that from someone who is so like experienced in harboring feelings, and like she's a medium, and just to have that said to me about my magic, I was like, oh my God, like that's the best compliment you can pay me, to say that I've captured your essence. Like that's really powerful.
Nice.
So I don't know if it was transformative for her as it was for me, but it was like something where I'm like, cool, I'm doing the good thing,
Yeah. Well, you're showing people that they have so much beauty, and to be comfortable in their own skin and in their own beauty, regardless of their ethnicity or beliefs or shape or size or height or weight or what color their eyes are, what have you. There's so many beautiful people out there, and sometimes it just takes a little bit for them to see themselves through somebody else's eyes, right? Look with different eyes. And
it's cool because like when I was doing boudoir, a lot of the clients that would come to me are like, "Oh, I'm in my 40s now, but I still look good, and I want to capture it while I'm in my prime," or somebody saying like, "I've never had the courage to do this, and I feel comfortable around you." Like that's what I'm here for. Like I want people to feel comfortable to see a side of themselves that they've never seen, and to understand that you don't need to be a professional model. You don't need to be on the runway. You don't need to be a Victoria's Secret angel to like look hot, you know?
Yeah.
So when I was shooting boudoir, it was always so empowering for me to like bring someone to that space, you know, because when I'm sure, you know, just from this podcast, like when you're in front of a camera, you're kind of like acting or whatever. And it's, when you do it for a while, you become more comfortable, but it is sort of like a different persona that you put on. And for those people who aren't actors, you know, when I was doing theater, it's like, okay, they're actors. They kind of know how to behave in front of a camera. And I think that there's a lot to bring out there. So when those people who haven't had that experience feel that way, I'm like, girl, you just did it. That's all you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Nice.
So
I love that.
yes.
Awesome. It's so important.
Yes.
Absolutely. What sacred self-care practices keep you aligned?
Okay.
Oh no. Is it on? Yeah, I think so. Is you? Are you on? Let me double check you. Sorry. Not being fresh. The charge might have went out. There we go. There we go.
Okay. Okay. Technical difficulties. Sacred self-care practices. So I do a tarot pull whenever I have like a big thing going on in my life, whether it's like work performance review or when we adopted our dog, I did a tarot pull before that, just to kind of like see. Also on my birthday, also on, you know, Christmas and New Year's, and just kind of like the big days, to see what the universe has to say. And that is really like how I'm just kind of like trusting in the messages that I'm receiving. And that to me is a self-care practice where I'm like, okay, let me just kind of sink into my craft a little bit, sink into how the universe wants to speak to me, and make sure that I'm honoring those messages that I'm receiving. But also, you know, spending some time alone. I need my alone time, and it's hard, you know, when I have a house full of energy and a very clingy dog and a toddler, and, you know, so really just kind of giving myself some space to just decompress. After I do a photo shoot, I always have to decompress. I'm usually very, very tired after a shoot. So it's like really like it is a magical practice for me where I just am depleted after that. In a good way, where I've like expended a lot of energy just to like do the thing, you know. But I'll read, I'll journal, I'll get my nails done, you know, I get massages, really good deep tissue massages with Reiki infused, which is so, so important. Taking care of my health too, like as a postpartum woman and someone who just needs that extra encouragement. I just need to like honor my body. Working out, oh my God.
Yeah.
If I could tell you how many times I need to like bail on my trainer, but also being like, no, Justine, do this because you're going to feel better afterwards. Like that in itself, like going for walks or like working out, that's what I have to do to like maintain sanity.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And especially working out, it's like, I'm like, my husband's a bodybuilder, but with me, I'm just like, I'm not getting up for that.
Right.
What does success look like to you as a spiritual business owner?
Ooh, you know, it's funny. I've had a lot of thought around this, like what is success for this In Her Magic project? And I really like I'm not exchanging money for this project, right? And that was a conscious choice. I decided that I wasn't going to charge for it because it's about sharing and storytelling and karma. And it's that to me is the success. It's not like how many followers I have or how many views I have or who, you know, who's looking at the project. I don't care. Like that's all like good stuff, secondary stuff, but that doesn't define the success of this particular project. It's really just how I'm envisioning it, how I can transmute this idea that's in my head and make it just go, you know, like Like I had an idea for it, and then it turned into the actual execution. Then how is it going to live? It's going to live on social. Well, okay, I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with Instagram, so I don't want it just on social media. I want it here, and then maybe it'll be somewhere else someday. But like, I just need it in the world. That's how I define success. With my other things, with work, like how well I'm doing, how I make people feel. That's a big thing for me. I lead with empathy. So instead of like leading with metrics and data, like, yes, that's all very important, but it's not how I do my work. I lead with empathy. I make sure that people are heard and people have space to do this and feel empowered to do this and feel like they're doing good work. If I'm putting together a process and a process document, say like, okay, do you have any feedback? I want to hear your thoughts, your voice. If you have feedback, I'll implement that. And give people pats on the back for good work that they're doing. I'm just sort of that caretaker that wants everyone else to do well too. I'm not one of those people to like push other people down so I can climb higher on the ladder. Like I want to bring people up with me, because as a team, if I'm leading the team as a team, like I'm just as good as my team as a leader, So,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's I think it's more fulfilling inside to not only succeed as yourself, but to want others to succeed as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
because we all grow more prosperous or healthier as a village than we would being a loner, so to speak. Right. Do you follow the moon, astrology, or seasonal cycles in your work?
Of course.
check.
The moon. Oh my God. Like every night I'm like, look at the moon. What I think is really cool is like my daughter knows the moon in her phases. Like I decorated the nursery with suns and moons and clouds, and she can recognize a full moon and a waning moon, waxing moon, like crescent moon, all of those, and she knows it's the moon. So I just thought, I'm like, you're not even 2 and you know that. Like, I just think that's so cool. But yes, I follow the moon. New moon, usually I'll do my rituals on like a new moon or a full moon, depending on what the ritual is. For seasons, I'll like for harvest, or I'll just kind of like make stuff, whether I'm actually making I'm leading a simmer pot class with my virtual team at work this week, which I think is funny.
That's awesome.
Because they're in Europe and India, and I'm like, we're going to make a simmer pot today.
I love it.
Team event. But yeah, just kind of like honoring the seasons. I am very much a water element, and my husband and I have a boat, so we boat a lot, and I always make sure that I am honoring to the best of my ability, like for Lunasa or for summer solstice, the types of foods that you would eat for like a festival, or any sort of like symbolism that goes with those types of Sabbats and the seasonal essence of that time. Like I always just oranges and peaches and just like things that make sense for that. It's always so cool to like be outside at night in the summer, because then it's so nice and warm and I can charge my crystals and like just like I don't know, I very much feel that power and that energy when it's most ripe, so like I try to be outside as much as possible.
Awesome. Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What's something you wish more people knew about energy work, divination, rituals, what have you?
I think a lot of folks get tied up in the materials that you need versus the intention that you should have, right? Where, like, oh, I don't have this herb, so I can't do it. Or I have, I need a cauldron and I need like this and that and this crystal and that crystal. It's like, girl, you can just go to your like spice cabinet if you really need something that bad, or just like Google it, like what's a, you know, but really it's about the intention.
Yes.
You know, like if you're uninformed of what witchcraft is and you see somebody doing a ritual, you assume because of what people have been told and just throughout history that this is a bad thing. Like, for example, if somebody finds a jar buried somewhere, they're like, witchcraft, this is evil, blah, 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 blah. Or like if there's like a nail in a jar, it's like, maybe that's not evil. Maybe that's a protection spell.
Yeah.
Or that's like something, just don't touch it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I watch a lot of the ghost hunter shows. That's my like trash TV that I like.
My trash TV.
Oh man, like people watch like Real Housewives and stuff. I watch Ghost Adventures. It's like a guilty habit. It's so bad, but it's so good. Like when I talk about like I need my alone time, that's on TV. I get my like sushi and that, and
nice.
then I'm like, I'm having a great night. So yeah, like anytime somebody sees like something historical or like, oh, there was a circle of stones, so people were practicing like satanic rituals. It's like, no, that's not it. It might be if the intention's there,
right.
But like at home, like if you're just like creating something or you want to just like put something out into the universe, you need the intention, the reason. It needs to be a full body experience for you. And same with cord cutting, right? Cord cutting was something that I had to do in my adult life, and I still do. But again, if it's like you can do the thing, you can tie the cord around 2 candles and watch it, you know, melt and burn away. But if your intention is not to maintain those boundaries, it's not gonna work,
right?
You know, so like. I feel like there are a lot of misconceptions around like, if I do this, or manifestation, same thing. I'm manifesting, you know, this house that I want to buy. Let the universe come to me. Yeah, that's yes, but you have to do the work too.
Yeah.
And that's what'll make it happen. You have to see it through. So the intention's there, but you got to do the work. Not everything is evil. Not everything is satanic. There are some good things out there, but you have to communicate that to the universe as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Otherwise, it could just go randomly wherever. What magic are you currently brewing in regards to any events you're doing, classes you're doing, somewhere where someone can see you and check you out and see what you're doing?
Yeah. So I built this new website, inhermagic.com. I haven't officially launched it yet, but now I guess I am. Inhermagic.com. So I have these stories up on inhermagic.com. I'm doing these. I'm doing this podcast plus another one very soon. And I also have my Instagram at in.her.magic, and then my Instagram is at piquant.photo. That's where you can see most of my work. So I really just want this to be out there for this, like I said, the storytelling purposes, right? Like when I was a kid, I actually a little bit of me wanted to be a journalist. I took journalism in school too, nice. You know, and I felt like it was so cool just to like be out there in the field and like reporting on something that I thought was interesting. And to me, this is so interesting, and it's just like sharing other people's experiences and how they've gotten to where they are. To me, that's how I define, you know, like we talked about, how I define success, like just like putting that good karma out there. The way that I'm setting this up is really just believing in it, you know, believing that this will go somewhere. Am I doing the work to take it somewhere? Yes, I am. I'm doing a lot of work to take it somewhere for a passion project that I'm not making any money off of, right? But I am believing that this is a calling for me to pursue. And I, on another note, like kind of like showing, I like the idea that I'm showing my daughter how to pursue creative endeavors without the need to prove anything to anybody or to define it with a monetary success or anything like that, right? Like I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the thing I said I was going to do. I'm doing work. I'm doing family, and I'm doing creative stuff. And that's like my 3 pillars, right? And you can just do it and feel good about it. And if you just like coloring a picture and then hanging it on the fridge, it's like you feel good that it's out there.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like how I'm treating this. And I'm building digital presences for this, and I hope that someday I can make a book or see it in print, because I feel like print, having something tangible to show evidence of the work and the stories that I've collected, the photographs that I've taken, is also very important. But that'll be somewhere down the line, not right now, but somewhere down the line that'll happen.
Nice. Yeah, it's a lot of involvement and a lot of work, especially when you're not expecting anything in return because of it.
Just energy,
right? Yeah.
energy exchange.
Yeah. Now I have some fun questions.
Okay.
What's your sun, moon, and rising sign, if you know all 3?
Sure. I'm a Pisces sun, Capricorn moon, Libra rising.
Nice.
I have a lot of placements in Capricorn, hence the project manager. And it's funny because before I knew this, I was like, oh, I get along with everybody except Capricorns. Ooh, they're such like sticks in the mud. And then I learned this about myself, and I'm like, I think I need to do some work around that. So
I may have spoken so soon.
Yeah. So the shadow work. To see where that took me. But now I lean into it. I understand that that's why, like, I'm a creative, and I'm a driven, pragmatic creative in that sense, where I can just like push myself to do the thing. Like I have an idea. I'm an ideas gal, but I'm also an execution gal, so I can get the 2 done. And then my Libra rising is like just being nice to people and not being able to make decisions sometimes. Like, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? It's just Libra rising.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite crystal or herb or tool that you work with?
Yeah, so I love amethyst and I love obsidian. Those are my 2 favorite crystals. Also carnelian. I have a lot of carnelian. Herbs. I'm a sucker for rosemary. I'll like add rosemary to anything on a plate and I will eat it. Lavender as well. I have lavender in my front yard and it's beautiful.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah. When the wind blows in a certain direction, you can just smell it. Oh my God. So
yes.
and I love roses too. So like, my husband knows this and he gets me flowers a lot. He'll get me roses and I'll dry out the roses and keep the petals. So I'll put those in spells. I'll put them on top of candles if I'm doing something. But yeah, you should look at the amount of stuff that I've saved and dried, and
that's awesome.
Yeah. I used to have this shelf on top of my bookshelf, and I call it the living dead garden, because it was like I had like these like phyllo plants, but then I had a lot of like dried out flowers and like dead things. So there was like life there, but all these like dead things as well, like dried out flowers and herbs. And I would just like kind of create this. I actually took that down on Samhain as part of a ritual. Kind of replaced it with something else, but yeah, I have a lot of like dried out materials to use.
I love that. And they're so beautiful when they hang there all dried out.
Yeah.
Do you have a magical nickname or an archetype that you resonate with?
Well, the art witch, I guess, is something that I kind of branded. That's really it. Like I have a nickname. People call me Teen or Teeny. Only the close people can call me that. It's usually like a pet name.
Yeah. Term of endearment.
Yeah, term of endearment. But yeah, really just art witch is something that I kind of like adopted because it just felt right, So that's really it.
Nice. Love it. Tea or tincture?
Tinctures.
Nice.
Tinctures for real. Oh man, I must say, the postpartum journey has brought me to tinctures and traditional Chinese medicine, and that has done way more for me holistically than any medicine or anything any doctor has like talked to me about.
Yeah, for chemicals and stuff.
Yeah,
byproducts and preservatives and all that crap.
Yeah. As someone who is lactose intolerant and allergic to dairy, I recently learned that my SSRI has milk and lactose in it, and I found that out through the pharmacist, and I was like, "What? Like nobody told me that."
No.
So anyway, tinctures. I actually recently this year I went to an apothecary right by my house, and I asked them to create a blend for me that targeted cortisol. Like I'm getting all these targeted ads now because because the internet knows exactly what is going on in my body. So,
they wish.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I'd rather have it like exactly done and locally made rather than like I don't exactly know what is going in these things, even though they show you the ingredients list. Like it had like some like blue thing that turned your tongue blue, and it's like super trendy on TikTok, and that's not what I want. So I don't want to look like I just ate a bag of Skittles. So I had this apothecary make me a tincture, and it's been phenomenal.
Awesome.
And like they didn't just like make the thing; they like did it through like a full moon cycle.
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
It was like lunarly aligned, and I was like, yes. Just yes, I'll wait a month. That's fine.
That's absolutely and it helps with the flow and the vibe of the thing.
Your ki and your chi and all the things part of traditional Chinese medicine. And I'm like, you know what? People might say like you're crazy, but like I'm like it works for me.
Yes,
so, tinctures all the way.
Yep, absolutely. Tarot or runes?
Tarot for sure.
Nice.
I have like 8 tarot decks. So
awesome.
One for like different purposes and. Yeah, I have a couple that like are my go-tos, but tarot for sure.
A cauldron or candle?
Cauldron or candles? Candles.
Nice.
All the candles. Just give me all the candles.
Just all the candles. Smells, the colors, the sizes, the shapes. Even the ones too pretty to burn.
Exactly. I'll just look at them.
Just look at them. Yes. Keep them out of the sun.
Yeah.
If your spirit guide had a voice, what would it sound like?
Definitely my grandma's voice.
Aww.
I hear it all the time.
Oh
yeah, like I can hear it in this ear and just like behind me. She's behind me. My daughter has my grandma's laugh, which I love.
Oh.
It just like, and my mom noticed it too, which I thought was cool. Yeah, definitely my grandma's voice. Like
so
I hear it in my dreams. I hear it like I hear my name sometimes. Like it's so warm. It gives me chills.
Yeah.
But it's so warming.
Yes.
And like if I try to think of it, I can't hear it. But if it's like in passing or if I'm just like low that day, I can hear it in my mind. But yeah, it's always like right here. It's always like in the back to the right. It's so weird how it like comes through. Yeah.
I love that. Do you have any pets?
Yes. I have a golden doodle named Ollie, Ollivander. Harry Potter fan. He is my son. Actually, when we adopted him that morning, I did a tarot pull and I pulled the sun. So I was like, literally. He is like my little shadow. He's my like soul dog. We also had a dog, golden retriever named Chloe. She passed away like a week after I found out I was pregnant, but I'm pretty sure that was her being like, I'm the queen and now I'm out.
Yes.
But she,
mic drop.
Yeah, she lived a long, happy life. I'm definitely like, I love cats, but cruelly allergic to cats. Like I'm like a cat reincarnated, but I cannot have a cat.
I couldn't handle my own dander, so I'm a human now.
Exactly. Yeah. But dogs I've had my whole life. And Ollie is he's my other child. I mean, I have the human one, I have the dog one, and he's like a person in a dog suit. So like he's just He's wonderful.
I love
Pain in
that.
the ass, but he's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So that was all the questions I had for you today.
Yay! This was so much fun.
Awesome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I
And
love
thank
it.
you everybody for listening.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about anything else?
No, just check out my In Her Magic project, inhermagic.com, in.her.magic on Instagram. And thank you, everybody.
Yeah. So I'm going to put a description for them to find, a link in the description for them to find you. Did you want that to be your website, Instagram?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. So go check her out. And she's done some wonderful photo shoots with some wonderful other female metaphysical shop owners. There's a lot on there. There's so many of us. This is awesome. And as always, come check us out at Enchanted Dragonfly at 99 Church Street in Whitinsville, Massachusetts. We are a metaphysical shop. And give this podcast episode a like, share with your friends, follow our channel, subscribe to the channel, help us grow. And as always, blessed be. Love you all.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.